Hey you little cuties, what is up? Demi Bemi here, and today I've got a speed build for you. This is my rendition, I suppose you could call it, the Garden of Eden for a new Let's Play that I'm kind of working on. It's going to be a sort of legacy type challenge, and my founders are going to be Adam and Eve, believe it or not. So what I'm doing right now is I'm trying to create a waterfall type deal. These rocks actually end up getting changed because I don't like how they look behind the waterfall. So I just kind of keep playing with the sizes and elevation, I guess you could say, with these. Right now I've just kind of been going through the debug, buy mode, and buying a bunch of like nature-y items. I really wanted to put a fountain in here in this build, but it didn't make any sense for Adam and Eve to have any sort of man-made structures. So here I just put in, I believe it's an end table, sized it up and elevated it a little bit to be behind the waterfall. And I liked that quite a bit better. It looked a lot more natural. And then I'm just kind of working around some rocks here to get the waterfall quite right. And then I'm actually putting in a custom pool here because I want them to be able to actually engage with this. So I haven't tested it yet, so I don't know if they can actually get in. You will see later kind of what I'm saying here. And then I'm finding some of the fountainy, spouty guys, putting them on the rocks so it kind of looks like the water is splashing on the rocks, giving it a little more of an authentic feel. And then just kind of adding some character to the pool here, being a dirt floor because that makes sense. I end up going with that really deep blue color for the water. It looks quite tropically, I guess you could say. I like how blue it is because I would imagine in the Mediterranean, where they would be, presumably that it would be very blue, very pretty. So now I'm just adding some rocks to give it a more natural feel, just because of course a pool is not a natural item. So I'm just kind of adding some rocks around, spinning these guys, making them look nice. I'm trying to also make it flow with the waterfall as well. So the white rocks match the kind of gray rocks, kind of get those intermingled. Definitely, I feel like this was the hardest build I've ever done, just because I've never really played with the cheats and like the buy debug, which isn't really hard, it's just unlocking items. But with the move objects on was a little bit crazy. Sizing objects was a little bit crazy for me, just because I've never really done that before. And I have actually recently been quite inspired by a few YouTubers doing builds, very different builds, I guess you would say. They're not just like the standard, like, oh, look at my house, here it is. Excuse me. Kind of builds. Definitely very creative, which kind of got me inspired to do something creative, which then sparked a Let's Play idea, and I just kind of went from there. Here, after the rocks, I'm adding some grass, sizing it up, adding it to the rocks because I feel like those would probably be growing in the crevices, adding some foliage here, some kind of just making it look very overgrown, I guess, as overgrown as I can make it look. Sizing up a lot of the plants, I think, helped take up a lot of the space, and just kind of getting a natural feel, which I feel like was the hardest part for me starting out this build because of, again, I've never really done anything quite this creative before, and it was definitely a new experience, so making it look quite natural was probably my my biggest hardship. Probably this might be my favorite part, is this pool here that I'm actually making right now, just because it is very, I don't know, I feel like I probably put the most effort into this, and therefore is my favorite. And I also love sort of grotto-y, like secret swimming holes kind of deal, like you're wandering in the forest and happen upon a lake or a pond or something. And here, just, you know, just adding in some more foliage, trying to like size up stuff, size it down, try to figure out how to take up this space, kind of. I did use a few of the alien plants because I thought they gave a nice bright color, kind of added a little bit of oomph in there. I imagine that the Garden of Eden wouldn't be entirely the plants that we have now, I guess. I would think that it would be quite colorful. Actually, I will probably throw in a little inspiration artboard, I guess I did, right here. And this is just kind of like what I based the build off of, was these pictures, kind of just making it look very overgrown. If there was a Pets expansion, I would have been a little bit happier, I think, knowing that there would be animals in this eventually. But for now, I guess I'll just have to make do with what I had, and I really do like what I had. It's turning out pretty good, just adding a lot of like water reeds around the edge. Of course, since Adam and Eve are the only people that live here, it wouldn't be very disturbed, so I feel like there would be a lot of like algae, a lot of plant life growing. And I do add, as we just saw, some lily pads over there in the little kind of off part of the pool. I think of the pool itself, that's probably my favorite part, is because it's so hidden by all of the trees and the bushes. Yeah, that's definitely probably my most favorite specific spot out of this entire build. I kind of wish I could live there. Sometimes when you play The Sims and you make cool stuff, you just wish that you could be there. Oh, here we go. Here I think I tried to justify putting in a fountain. And now what I am doing in this corner of the lot is making a cave where Adam and Eve will live, because I imagine they're not going to have any sort of real structure that they live in, other than a cave that was probably already there. Before we skip to the end of the cave, I actually wanted to add in another water feature, and I actually add in a smaller waterfall type thing here, and add in a fountain instead of a pool. So they can't swim in this one, but I do really like this because it kind of does give you a window inside the cave, because the cave will be a full cave. It's not just a wall of rocks there. And here I am adding in some rocks for a natural effect for the little water feature by the cave, which I do quite like this one as well. Added a bunch of splashing at the bottom of the waterfall there, just kind of trying to figure out how much splashing I could get in there. I think I might have overdone the splashing a little bit. I was just having so much fun I couldn't help myself. So just adding in lots of rocks here, because I figure if it's by cave, it's probably gonna be pretty rocky. And here we go back to the cave. Okay, so I would say probably the most tedious part of this for me personally was creating the overhang for the cave. I just hated it. I hated it so much. And just to get it to sort of that orby cave-like feel was not particularly exhilarating as far as building goes. I think what kind of saved it for me personally, though, was all the different shapes and layering all the different rocks with different sizes, kind of, and it gave it a more natural feel, so I didn't feel so terrible about kind of giving up. And then here I am working on this pool area, or this fountain, just trying to add in some foliage, give it a very like oasis-y feel, which is kind of what I tried to give this entire build, was make it feel secluded, like it's been untouched, which basically it has been. Tried to get some grass up there on the rocks because I feel like it's not likely that there wouldn't be any foliage on top of the cave, so stuck some of that up there, you know, just kind of filling in this little pool area, making this one a little less secluded than the actual pool, but still kind of giving it a little bit of a hidden feel. I'm just going around adding in some dirt texturing around to kind of spruce it up there. Put dirt inside the cave, of course, because since there's no sunlight in the cave, it'd be less likely that there is grass. And then tried to make the entrance to the cave a little more full, I guess, because it was looking pretty barren. So I figured I'd add some more flowers, some more bushes, add some color, since it's just such a huge white blob that it definitely needs spruced up. And then I tried to hide the toilet bushes or the sleeping bushes or the whatever bushes to give that a more private kind of feeling, even though the Sims will go regardless of who's around. I just kind of wanted to make it feel like they were going to a different area to go to the bathroom, making it feel a little more full, which was probably the hardest part, picking such a large lot. I'm kind of all over the place here, sorry about that, but then like inside the cave, I'm like, oh yeah, well they probably need that end table, I think that is, and then those 2 log stools. Put a little bit of grass in there because it was looking pretty stark. Now I'm just looking for some sort of like lantern-y type deals, and I settle on these ones, even though in real life trees don't give off light. And now I'm like, oh, well, they probably need to eat. So I gave them a fire pit. I didn't like those rocks there, so I ended up getting those log stools. And that seemed a little more real to me. And here I am trying that fountain again. I just really, really wanted a fountain. Then I actually do leave that arch in there, which I really like. Even though it is a little bit more man-made, I really like it. And then I tried to add some kind of foliage here, and it kept like locking to the waterfall feature back there, which was seriously pissing me off. I think I contemplated it for quite a while here. Okay, and we're back. I think I got really like borderline like rage quit angry there. I end up taking them away because it's making me so freaking mad. And then I look for some more flowery decorations. And I really like these like wall decorations. I think they really gave the cave an extra like oomph to kind of what it already had. Because I mean the sides of the rocks are pretty barren. So I feel like that really definitely added a little bit extra something. And by the way, I love those flower vines so much. I think they look so great. And I kind of switch up some of the colors, try to get a little more vibrant, kind of put them all around. Don't want to neglect the back of the cave here. I was having a little bit of trouble with this cave with how textured the surface was, getting the vines and the ivy and stuff to look like they go there. So I just kind of keep doing that, playing with it a little bit, seeing where it looks kind of empty, which is most of it. I'm adding a little bit of ivy inside here because I figure, why not? I decided to go with the foliage, and inside might as well keep going. And I find these little meditation seats, these little stools, which I thought were so adorable. And I leave them there. I really do. I know they're man-made, but I figure, I don't know, I liked them there by the pool. It's also a dedicated spot for those, so there's nothing else really over there but those meditation stools. So I really like that. And then I decide that, oh, look, we have all this blank space. What am I going to put here? And so I was looking for something specific. Oh, you know what I was looking for? Like harvestable plants. For some reason, I couldn't find any harvestable plants. Like, I don't know why on the planet Earth I wouldn't be able to find them. Maybe I didn't use the right cheat. I don't know. I ended up putting planter boxes in there. And I find some of these, I think those are actually broken woodworking things, but I think that can add a little extra texture to all of the greenery that we have in here. I think I'm still searching for the harvestable plants. Then I thought maybe if I looked under, like, saying it was a park, I could find the harvestable plants, and I really wanted them, as you could tell. So then over here, I'm just kind of filling it up with some trees. I kind of like start making a little field of daisies here. I think that maybe gets a little bit convoluted. I got really excited about all the flowers, and it wasn't quite looking right. I think after I had all the flowers in here, I actually start adding in some trees and things, because it looked a little bit out of place and unnatural, of course, as you could imagine. And then I'm working on this corner again, putting a lot of grass in there, in the shade, adding a lot of bushes next to the other bathroom bush, or whatever you call it, making it look a little more natural. I don't know if you can use that one. I think you can. I haven't play tested it yet, so let's hope so. I may have to move it. Then working on the field of flowers here again, trying to make this look a little more dense, I guess, because a lot of these flowers are very, not sparse, because I don't think they look sparse, but they're very thin, I think. And I wanted very, like, thick, dense flowers. Then adding another cluster of trees, just so it was looking pretty naked over here, to be honest with you. So adding in some more grass into the shade, because I feel like grass grows in the shade for some reason. Then I added in some seating near the clusters of trees, because I feel like maybe there would be some rocks where they'd have a nice little sit down. Just trying to fill up this area, basically, is what I'm doing. More alien plants. I actually really liked that big, giant, hot pink mess of whatever plant it is. I haven't done a lot of, like, science-y type deals in The Sims so far, so I don't know what they are, but they're fucking cool and I love them. And here we go with the garden boxes. I put quite a few, and I wanted to make that sort of a separate area from everything. I ended up putting in those hedges. Now that I'm looking at it, I don't know how much I like it, but I think it will do This build is actually available on the gallery. You could just use the hashtag Bemi and search it that way, and it should be there under Garden of Eden. And you can change that if you want. Take it out, maybe add something different. But I do like the clusters of flowers that I'm putting around. I think it makes it look really more natural. And then we've got some weird awkward space here in the middle. So I just decided that I'm going to make some clusters of rocks because it needs something. I know I was watching somebody else's build and they said if you have any sort of awkward space in a build like this, just kind of make clusters of items. And here are the screenshots, the top view. Here's the view of the pool, my favorite. Here's my little garden boxes in the field. Then we have this little secluded area there in that corner. Another shot of the secluded area. Here's a close-up of the pool. And here is my favorite part. Oh, all the lilies. I love them. I love the lily pads. Here's their eating area, some clusters of rocks I just did. Kind of the cave where their living area is with the fountain. I tried to get inside the cave. It was really hard with the camera. Here's another shot, a little bit better. And one of this pond. And then the meditation area. Anyways, guys, thank you so much. I do apologize for the grid. I don't know what I was doing. The other builds won't have the grid. But anyways, you guys, thank you so much for checking this out. I really appreciate it. Leave me any comments if you have any tips for any builds. Leave it a like if you liked it. I'd like to know if you guys are interested. Subscribe if you want to see more. I'm definitely planning on doing lots more speed builds. And thank you guys so much for checking it out. I appreciate it so much. And I'll see you little cuties next time. Bye!